The Miami Dolphins pulled off another move during the 2025 NFL Draft that made everyone lean in a little closer, not because of the names involved, but because of what it whispers about the future. Trading away the 116th pick, along with a 7th-rounder, just to snag a 3rd-rounder for 2026 and a 6th-round pick this year? That doesn't scream urgency. That hints at something else entirely. It smells like a bigger picture being painted quietly behind the scenes. And isn't that exactly the kind of maneuver that either sets up greatness or sets up the fall? Chris Grier, the mastermind behind all this, seems to be operating like a man who's already seen the next few steps on the chessboard. Picking up extra ammo for 2026 feels less about this moment, this draft, and a whole lot more about flexibility when the lights get even brighter later. Veteran trade brewing? Maybe a cornerback to patch up that looming hole left by the drama swirling around Jalen Ramsey? You can't shake the feeling something's simmering. Of course, moving that 116th pick opened the door for the Texans to grab USC running back Woody Marks. Cool for them. Meanwhile, Miami is left stacking draft capital like a gambler stacking chips. They've got 3 picks in the 5th round, a 6th, and 2 7ths. Nothing flashy, nothing headline-grabbing, but maybe that's the point. Maybe this team, often teased for being soft when it mattered most, is done chasing headlines. Maybe they're chasing something real. When the Dolphins' war room pulled the trigger on this trade, it didn't just echo through the corridors of team headquarters. It raised a lot of eyebrows across the league. Not because it was shocking, not because it was wild, but because it spoke volumes without shouting. Miami isn't desperate. They aren't scrambling. They are recalibrating. Still, the questions don't fade. Who are the Dolphins this year? After the trades, the maneuvering, the drafting of massive, gritty, punch-you-in-the-mouth kind of players, what exactly is the identity they're trying to forge? Because if you listen closely, you can hear the words bouncing off the walls of the facility. Toughness, physicality, aggression. No more getting shoved around when it matters. Look at the picks. Kenneth Grant, 1st round, a mountain disguised as a man. A defensive tackle who doesn't believe in making friends between whistles. Jonah Savaiania, 2nd round, a guard who sees every snap as an opportunity to make someone regret lining up across from him. Jordan Phillips, snagged in the 5th, another fire starter in the trenches. This wasn't drafting for finesse. This was a clear, loud, pointed response to the quiet accusations that have dogged Miami for too long. Not tough enough. Not nasty enough. It all started, in a way, back in a freezing November locker room in Green Bay. Jordan Brooks, not mincing words, called the team soft. A dagger, sure, but one the Dolphins clearly decided not to pull out. They left it there. They felt it every time they watched the tape. Every time a game slipped away. And maybe that's why the 2025 draft, coincidentally held right back there in Green Bay, feels so poetic. A chance to change the ending to a story that got away from them last season. Mike McDaniel hasn't been shy about it either. Violence and aggression, he said, like it was a mission statement, not just an off-season plan. He and Grier weren't picking players. They were picking mindsets, picking statements, picking street fighters over dancers. And now here we are, 8 picks in hand, a roster looking younger, hungrier, less polished maybe, but less fragile for sure. There's this sense that Miami is trying to walk 2 very thin lines at once. Build for the now, but keep a firm eye on the reset button if needed. It's not a rebuild. It's not a full-speed push for a title. It's somewhere murkier, somewhere riskier, with Ramsey expected to be traded. Maybe even right after June 2nd. The secondary looks shaky on paper. Cam Smith, Storm Duck, Kader Kohu. None of them scream, shut down corner. And the idea that Grier's going to just hope one of them steps up feels almost laughable. No, a veteran's coming. Has to be. Someone to plug the gap while the younger guys grow. Maybe the 3rd-rounder from 2026 ends up part of that deal. Maybe not. But the wheels are turning. And let's not pretend the offense doesn't have its own set of issues to iron out. The line is young, sure. Projected starters aged 23, 21, 27, 27, and 25. But young doesn't always mean ready. Youth needs seasoning. Youth makes mistakes. And while McDaniel wants a tougher, more physical team, how exactly do you beat AFC heavyweights when your team is halfway in one phase and halfway in another? The roster's talent level? Probably about the same as last year's. Maybe a tick younger, a bit more violent around the edges. But that 8-9 record isn't going to fix itself just because you draft a few tough guys. That miss on the playoffs? That's a stain that doesn't wash out easy. And it doesn't care how many bar fight linemen you roll out there if you can't protect Tua or stop Josh Allen.